Hi everyone. Today in my class I'm going to teach you about news and the elements of news. Okay. So what is news? What is expansion of news? For N it is north, for E it is east, for W it is west, and for S it is south. Okay. Information that are collected from all these parts of the world, when it is clubbed together and presented to the public, then that is called as news. Okay, the expansion of news is that north, east, west, and south. Okay, news is a presentation of a report on a current event in a newspaper or other periodical or on radio and on TV. News is a timely, concise, accurate report of an event. It is not the event itself. You all need to know what is a news value. Okay, news values determine how much prominent a particular news story is about. Okay, so while talking about the elements of news, there are different elements. Firstly, oddity. 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 Oddity is nothing but news that are strange. Okay, strange incidents on news. News stories with an element of surprise will create curiosity and will be in the news. This is where the man biting a dog stories and all will come. Next type of news value is emotion. How do people feel about a particular story? These news stories will be both bad news and also good news. Death, tragedy, and all is an example of bad news. Positive news stories are far more prevalent than suggested by the cynical claim that only good news is bad news. Consequence. What is the effect on the reader? After reading a particular story, what is the effect on the reader? News stories about issues, groups, and nations are perceived to be of relevance to the audience. Next is proximity. Where is the story coming from is far more important. Okay. What happens in and around your city interests you more than what happens in another city. For example, information about our government is far more important for us than information about the other government. Okay. Therefore, newspaper allocates greater space for local news coverage because of the proximity factor only. Next element of news is drama. Dramatic events of any kind would be an ideal subject for an interesting news story. Next is human interest. People doing interesting things or incidents having an emotional element comes under this human interest stories. These kind of stories cover all the feelings that human beings have, including sympathy, sadness, anger, fear, etc. News stories concerning entertainment, drama, humorous treatment, entertaining photographs will be interest to most of the people. The other set of news elements are this: progress, conflicts, timeliness, continuity, personalization, meaningfulness, and prominence. Okay. In progress, technological advance and new discoveries will always be the subject for discussion and a relatable news story. In conflict, news stories about man vs. man or man vs. nature, man vs. machine, man vs. himself. Conflict has an element of drama that gets attention and hence serves as a criterion for news selection. The next element is timeliness. Timeliness is the essence of the news. It is understandably a criterion for a news selection. As an event that has just happened makes a good news story than an event which had happened few days ago. Okay, timeliness is an important element of news. Next is personalization. Event which can be portrayed as the actions of individuals will be more attractive than one in which there is no such human interest. Okay. Some stories will be really personal. You will really like it when you read it. Okay. That personal connect is one of the elements of news. Next is meaningfulness. This relates to the sense of identification the audience has with the topic. The next point, the next element of news is meaningfulness. This relates to the sense of identification of the audience with the topic. Cultural proximity is a factor here. Stories concerned with people who speak the same language, look for the same, and share the preoccupation of the audience receive more coverage. The next element of news is meaningfulness. People look for articles that will give them a real meaning when they read it. Here, cultural proximity plays a major role. Stories concerned with people who speak the same language will look for the article of the same language, of the same region, of the same arts they belong to. Continuity is nothing but having the continuation of the previous story. Okay? So these are the different elements of news: oddity, emotion, consequence, human interest, drama, proximity, progress, conflicts, timeliness, continuity, personalization, meaningfulness, and prominence. Okay. See you in the next class.